Now, MasterChef star Gregg Wallace has responded to allegations of inappropriate behaviour against him in a post on social media.
Now, I've been doing MasterChef for 20 years. Amateur, celebrity and professional MasterChef. And I think in that time, I have worked with over 4,000 contestants of all different ages, all different backgrounds, all walks of life. And apparently now, I'm reading in the paper, there's been 13 complaints in that time. Now, in the newspaper, I can see the complaints coming from a handful of middle-class women of a certain age just from Celebrity MasterChef. This isn't right. In 20 years, over 20 years of television, can you imagine how many women, female contestants on MasterChef, have made sexual remarks or sexual innuendo? Can you imagine?
Well, Rachel Venables is here, and Gregg Wallace has posted this just in the last few minutes, really, hasn't he?
Yeah, certainly within the last hour. I think about 45 minutes or so ago, he posted that on his Instagram page, as well as it's on his stories, a number of screenshots of people who tweeted him in support of their experience on one of the many MasterChef shows that he presents. He has been pretty active, actually, on Instagram over the past few days, ever since those allegations first came out on Thursday, when it was announced that Wallace would step away from the BBC cooking show while these historical misconduct complaints would be externally reviewed. We now know that a law firm has been drafted in. At first, the claims were that he faced allegations, really, of inappropriate sexual comments from 13 people across a range of shows over this 17-year period. And his lawyers, really, from the start, have said it was entirely false that he engaged in a behaviour of a sexually harassing nature. But that video, I think, really quite a pointed rebuke of these claims. I think it's quite telling the way he started by talking about how long he'd been doing the job, 20 years, the thousands of people that he'd worked for. But that line, the idea that the claims had come from only a handful of middle-class women of a certain age, and talking about sexual innuendos that had been made by other women on the programme, indicates, of course, that he's continuing to push back against these allegations as more people have been coming forward to accuse him of inappropriate behaviour, of things like jokes and comments. And also this morning we were, of course, reporting a letter that had been posted on Instagram claiming that the MasterChef host had made lewd comments and asked for the personal phone numbers of female production staff at work. This is a story that was reported overnight, claiming that the BBC knew of those allegations back in 2022. And actually, we've seen this letter, which was sent to the BBC 2 years ago by producer and director Dawn Elric. And it says from her, "I've noticed a pattern of behaviour from one person whose name has been mentioned half a dozen times in connection with lewd comments being made to female production members, female production being made to feel uncomfortable about being asked for their personal numbers, being made to talk to the talent whilst the talent is topless, and general unease in his company." And it went on to say Gregg Wallace is the name attached to these experiences. Again, remember, his lawyers have said it's entirely false that he engages in behaviour of a sexually harassing nature. And a BBC spokesperson has said if issues are raised with them, they say we have robust processes in place to deal with them swiftly and appropriately. We will always listen if people want to make us aware of something directly, while the production company behind MasterChef, Manager UK, has said whilst these are historical allegations, incidences brought to our attention where these expectations are not met are thoroughly investigated and addressed appropriately. But very telling that Gregg Wallace has chosen to post that video on his Instagram stories this morning.
Indeed. Rachel, thanks very much indeed.